for the civilians, hey, you might want to skip about 45 minutes. I don't know how long. For the sellers, we about to get into this Navadmin. The Navy definitely gave us a Navadmin to unwrap for the holidays. You know what I mean? So we gonna get into this Navadmin. It's 25524, the Billet-Based advancements, right? Hey, Damon, I'm gonna be factual, bro. Look, I took notes on this shit, bro.
Yeah,
I took notes. I got about 4 or 5 pages of notes, man.
Ooh, I ain't got many as you got, but I took some too.
Yeah, I took some notes, bro.
Yeah.
To get, so it's one thing. So mostly, so if you got the Navadmin pulled up, I'm gonna go off the notes. But before I go off the notes, I'm gonna intro this in a couple different ways, right? Hey, so for the listeners, we were we initially put it on like the social media about like just this Navadmin and thoughts about it. It's not that difficult in Navadmin. It's just lengthy. And there's some other shit I'm gonna get into in a second. But I just want to intro this going off the remarks, right? So this is what it says. It says, so remember we talk about billet-based advancement, right? It says billet-based advancement is the framework that serves to link enlistment advancements directly to billets. It enables active duty sellers to advance to the next higher pay grade via command advance to position, that's CA2P, and advance to position, that's A2P, and includes the senior enlisted marketplace, SEM. I hate that like acronym, SEM.
Yeah.
BBA expands active duty seller choice, reduces the number of E5 and above vacancies across the fleet, and reduces assignment distribution inefficiencies, right? And then most the actions are initiated and adjudicated through my Navy assignment. So mostly everything we're going to be talking about as far as process and stuff like that is through my Navy assignment, right? So that was a quick kind of explanation via that Navadmin. Now I'm going to say this. Remember when I compared this shit to Marvel, bro? The phases of a DMAT, bro? It's the truth, bro. It's almost like, yo, you can't really watch Deadpool unless you saw Loki. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't really read this BBA unless you read the other like 4 advancement ones before this, the other DMAT ones. Like it's all a connected universe at this point, right? Somebody called this a science project on TikTok, like just a bunch of different, shit to put together. I will say this, it's not as difficult as, I don't know if I just said this or not, but it ain't as difficult as, we all thought it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this starts with, all right, we're going to get into it, y'all. So this starts with the March 2025 exam cycle, right? So this pretty much in effect now, right? Soon as it dropped, now. Right before the holidays too. Hey, y'all gonna have to tell us why y'all do that, the right before the holiday drop. Like we know every year it's a good one. So start March 2025, all DMAT ratings fully integrate into BBA, right? So anything that was DMAT is BBA. And that's them C intensive ratings, right? So ABE, ABF, ABH, AME, AO, CS, DC, EM, IC, GM, GSM, MM, QM, and RS, right? You got the Navadmin, right, Damon?
Yeah.
Did I hit them all?
Hit them all. Yep.
All right. So it's no longer the DMAT 4+3, right? And that's that automatic, I got to do 7 years that all the EMs was hating and all that. That's done. E5, E6 exam for these rates will transition to, so the 4-3 shit, even though it's done, you still might be out to sea for 7 years. Like, right?
Yeah.
Am I tripping?
Yeah. You still might be out. Yeah.
Because all you're going to do is pick orders to another billet, and this C-duty billet, you got to out-observe for 36 months.
36 months.
So it's the same shit still. So just for clarity, E5, E6 exams for these rates will turn into RKE. So that was what the DCs and the ABEs were doing. RKEs, rating knowledge exams, to be eligible for CA2P and A2P eligibility. I don't know much about rating knowledge exams as far as like, I don't have any sellers that done them yet, so I don't got no feedback from them. You got feedback from, I guess it's the same fucking exam, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing, man. They just taking it, they get a number. I mean, they get a number, get a grade or whatever, and then they get approved to to be at least get selected for CA2P or A2P. Yeah.
All right. So in order to take a rating knowledge exam, right, which I'm gonna either call in this conversation, I'm gonna either call it rating knowledge exam or RKE, right? So in order to take a RKE, you need an in-grade eval, right? So you need an eval in grade. So then if you pass the RKE and you get your COR OIC recommendation for advancement, you'll have detailing marketplace eligibility indicator applied to your record, right? DMEI. So you could apply for jobs in the next higher pay grade, regardless of your PRD, right? So for the most part of this conversation, when we talk about applying for jobs, it's going to be in the next higher pay grade, right? ABEs. Now, one of the things that might be good is like, as we get into this, some of that time and rate shit is a little different now, right? Some of that time and rate shit is a little different.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah, you just take the test.
Like that's the only thing that I think once you get that indicator from your commanding officer, which is called detailing marketplace eligibility indicator.
Yeah.
So once you get that, you can apply, man. Like that's it.
Yeah. So you
got 24 months. Yeah, you got 24 months. So that could be a good thing for sailors.
Yeah.
And on plus with the A, so we all doing it. So for the ABEs and the DC men, like they have to wait. Everybody else on that list has to wait till August to do it.
Yeah, but ABEs and DCs right now, they do it right now.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we can do it right now. Because we kind of been doing it tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of been doing it for a little while right now. Yeah. So that's one positive thing. Because DC, trust me, I'm pissed about the DC side of it because and I'm not pissed because of how it's going because I know how the Navy is rolling.
Yeah.
But I was kind of upset about it because of the advancement. And I'm going to the frocking ceremonies and no DC man is on there. You know what I mean? I'm a damage controlman. So I'm going to see how many DC men make this. And I'm on an aircraft carrier. So it's going to be some on there that make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody's called out. So that was one of my things that I was upset about. Yeah. But
advancement is slim. It's slim anyway now because of all of these changes. Them joints, they ain't like it used to be 50 of us on a cruiser, 50 of us, in front. So like we just said, I think you just said ABs and DCs, they eligible now.
Yeah.
We just said all others listed, right? They passed the exam in March. The RKE, they apply for A2P jobs in the August my Navy assignment cycle, right? And this next part, similar to SIM, right? And Damon kind of talked about already, pass the RKE means you DMEI eligible for 24 months. If you don't advance to a new position in that 24 months, you got to retake the RKE to ensure technical competency is maintained, right? So that's that right there. So you got to advance, right? And I thought I had the numbers for senior enlisted marketplace, but the numbers for senior enlisted marketplace are good, right? Y'all might hate me for that, but the numbers for senior enlisted marketplace are good. So what people see, right, what Bill and them see coming back is good numbers. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bill too. So people see good numbers, right? So let's go RKE versus Navy. You had something to say?
Well, I kind of got one thing in the My Navy assignment thing. And I don't know if we're going to get to that later or not, but I'm not sure. But I want to say this. Sometimes, and this could be tribal knowledge too, is that the My Navy assignments, they don't show all the billets. Right. Uh-huh. So you have to go through My Navy assignments for any of this stuff for A2P. Sometimes they may not have 5 billets on that thing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's my only problem. Okay, so now we got all these sailors, say hundreds of them, and they all going to be applying for 5 billets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. I don't know if it's going to change or not change, but I wanted to say that because I'm not sure about that part of it.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to add to that, man. RKE versus Navy-wide advancement exam, right? So questions, exam processes, they the same. The timeline is the same, March, September, right? So still March and September. Now you could retake the RKE each cycle. And that to me is a if you want thing. So it sounds like if you take it and you good. You don't got to keep taking. Some people not going to keep taking it. But you can keep taking it so to improve your final multiple. The reason why improving your final multiple matters is because the scoring element, the SSC, right? So the final multiple is scored into your SSC. Your SSC is your seller scoring criteria, right? So that's better with a better final multiple, right? Another difference here, another thing here with the exam is, the final multiple is based off your RKE score, your eval, awards, your education, your service and pay grade, and P&A points. Here, we talked about it earlier, time and rate is not required. You don't have to wait. You just go ahead and take the fucking exam, right? So now ESOs. So ESOs are, and this is for now, like right now, ESOs, create worksheets, submit exam orders for those sellers. And these are the sellers that just kind of rolled into this BBA. Add exam orders for BBA active duty sellers missing from cycle 267, the initial exam orders, right? So add more exams for them. PMKEE, ELD, still eligibility requirements. So you still need those in order to take the RKE, right? Some exemptions here. BBA not available. So billet-based assignment is not available for TAR or CellRes sellers, right?
Yep.
And then let's talk A2P and CA2P. You got anything to add right there, Damon, or no?
No.
That's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
A2P, CA2P in relation to BBA. Have you dealt with A2P and CA2P yet?
Yes. Actually, yes. CA2P I dealt with because two of my sailors picked up second class from CA2P.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good, man. Like it wasn't nothing too crazy. It's pretty much the command. We had 2 billets popped up. Our sailors put in for the billets. They got an observe course for 36 months.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty self-explanatory on what they had to do. They just had to do a little paperwork, sign the observe paperwork. And then now I think in January or something like that, my sailors are put on second class.
Yeah. And they got billets on the ship. Or they got
on the ship. Yeah.
Okay.
CA2P is the command. So that's the command that you're at. Yeah. So that's why, all it was command. We had to send that stuff off the PERS and make sure it was all good. And then that was it, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So A2P, first, opportunities are advertised in my Navy assignments. You can submit up to 7 applications per cycle. And that's for your pay grade or the next higher pay grade, right? After that, and y'all can read the Navadmin for specifics on how this thing is tallied and stuff like that. But I'm going to say it's a rack and stack for A2P selection, right? It's pretty much a rack and stack. BBA seller selected for A2P must observe for 36 months with all other, and then any other prereq requirements for that billet, right? So if it's a school or anything else, like you still need to have all of that stuff. So that's A2P right there. CA2P is, in my opinion, is kind of like a map to a billet on board the ship, right?
Yeah.
And remember, we still talking just only the BBA sellers. All this is strictly talk about BBA sellers, right? So you need, in order to be eligible for this, though, you need 24 months of cumulative C time as an E4 to be eligible for E5 CA2P, right? 24 months cumulative C time. Now, as an E5 to be eligible for E6 CA2P, you need 18 months on that tour, right? So you need to be on that tour for 18 months, right? So 24 months C time period if you want to make E5 CA2P, 18 months on at that command if you want to make E6 CA2P, right? Right, Damon?
Yep.
Must be on sea duty or pre-com that has so you gotta have a billet. You gotta have a billet for you in that next higher pay grade, right? Sure, CA2P eligible for advancement if the command has available billet that is in line with your rate, or your NECs in the next highest pay grade. It got to be something that like you're doing, right? Whether that's NECs or your rate. You observe in 36 months beyond your advancement date, but your PRD is not extended, right? That means that you're not going to stay on shore duty. If you do it on the ship, you're going to stay on that ship for 36 months. But if you do it on shore duty, you're not staying on shore duty. Now, if you are a recruiter or you work at RTC, you're also eligible and the billet is not the same as like the other one where it need to be your source rating on our NEC. You could just jump up in one of those billets in the next higher pay grade, right? So that's that. ISICs, TICOMs, and BSOs, right? So we're going to get into that a little bit. ISICs, TICOMs, and BSOs. For the young seller, we ain't breaking down acronyms too much like that. And I know some of y'all, but y'all need to ISICs, right? Immediate superior in command, TICOM, type command. Like, y'all should start learning what these things mean so y'all can have a better understanding of the roles that some of these entities play into like the work that we do, right? What's BSO? Budgeting Service Officer or some shit?
Yeah, that's what it stands for, yeah.
Right.
I never dealt with it, but yeah.
And they can move eligible BBA sellers to higher pay grade billets if they are in the same geographic location, right? So your ISIC could also pretty much get you to that higher pay grade. Shore to shore, again, you retain your original your PRD and you won't be extended. When will the BBA sellers be frocked? Once ObliServe is achieved to meet new assignment, PRD, and one of these occur, right? So hard copy orders for A2P are received. Our Manning realignment request is approved for CA2P, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you frock.
Yeah. The only, man, it's tough, man. For one, with the ISIC, right, is that now I can see people just moving motherfuckers around if they good, right? We could just move this. Because say I'm at an ISIC and we got 10 ships in this thing right here now, right? So I got a good young sailor right here. I feel like, hey, let me call up the ISIC real quick to try to put them in on this ship to get them advanced to first class. Yeah. You know what I mean? On this command, I can see some stuff shaking right there, right? The other thing I see is I'm being honest, man. Like I can see some
how they get down.
Yeah, man. And then the A2P and the CA2P, man, is like you at the command, but I'm at another command. Is that billet popping up in my Navy assignment, which it should be, right? Mm-hmm. So are we actually looking at A2P and CA2P when we evaluate them filling that billet before we select the CA2P? Because CA2P, I think, got the advantage. We know this sailor.
Yeah.
Right? We good. We know how they get down. We know how they roll. So is that billet popping up? You know, because it pop up now, you can have a freaking 50 billets now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From A2P, because they trying to advance too. So now they didn't put they didn't put it on there. So now we're looking at CA2P and A2P, and I'm sure they are, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like I need that to be clarified a little bit. Are we looking at all those billets?
Yeah, and then is that giving a command kind of the upper hand and like keeping a seller whether they want to stay or go?
Yeah.
Or am I tripping? Yeah. Am I off?
No, the command when it comes to CA2P, I feel like the command got a lot of power right there, man.
Yeah, and the command, and it's not like MAP where it's a quota, right? As long as it's a billet, you can do it.
It's all about billet. Yeah, it's all about the billet, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the billet. So I think that gives the CA2P a little bit of an advantage. So if you had a command that billet pop, I feel like automatically you have if you a squared away sailor, I feel like you got the upper hand when it comes to that billet.
And you might not want to gamble with like I'm gonna call it the marketplace, but my Navy assignment, you might not want to gamble with A2P, right? Yeah. You might just take the CA2P joint.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's at. But I will tell you for the junior, the E4s and E5, I think it opened up a little bit for them though. So now every freaking cycle come out, you can apply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can just start applying, and sooner or later, hopefully somebody say yes to your ass, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like you may not have to stay at that same command. I think it helps. A lot of people get stagnant and be there for 5 years. Now you may not have to stay at the same command for 5 years. You know what I mean? Or 4 years or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you can mix that up a little bit there too. So
now, so I guess like seashore rotations, like everything we knew about them, we should just forget.
Bro, that's tough too because they can pick short duty billets too.
Oh, for A2P, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do they?
Are they taking that into consideration? That's a good question. That's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, I'm tripping. I could be off, but like op tempo, because I'm advancing to position from E4 to E5, right?
Yeah.
And when I do that, I'm obli-serving, right?
Yep.
For 3 years. So let's say I CA2P from E4. So I'm on a ship for 30 months, right? And I make E4, right? Already, right? So I'm in the Navy. Well, I'm in the Navy 30 months, make E4 because that's TIS advancement. It's 30 months, right?
Yep.
All right. Months. So now I could go get advanced through the BBA to E5 on a ship. So I CA2P to a billet on a ship to E5. Now, in order to make E6, it's BBA again, right?
Yeah.
So now, am I BBA and A? And for the listeners, some of y'all, I'm gonna call y'all bigwigs. I know y'all don't want to be called bigwigs, right? So for some of y'all bigwigs, help me out because I could be confused here. Now, so I BBA, so I automatically advance to E4. BBA to E5 on the ship. Can I get CA2? And I had to obli-serve 36 months, right? But now when I obli-serve 36 months, now I'm already eligible. I just take the RKE next time, right? I could just take the RKE.
Well, yeah, you could take the,
As long as
you have to be, like when you go to E5 and E6, that means you have to be at that tour 18. If you're at that tour 18 months.
Yeah, as long as I meet those recs.
Yeah, as an E5 though.
Yeah. So then I CA2P. I could CA2P to E6 and then have another 36-month obli-serve on that same ship? Or is it like, hey, you gotta leave now? Is it that's the one thing I'm wondering. Like when does you gotta leave this command come into play? And maybe I'm tripping and I'm just not.
You can do about 6 years and be a freaking upper chief.
Yeah. But can you do like 8 years on the same ship? Is that?
I know people have. I know people like.
Yeah, but that's before this. Right?
Yeah.
But with this, because I could get CA2P twice at the same command, right?
It don't say you can't.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing in this saying that you can't do that.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I'm just wondering, like a seashore rotation type deal. Like,
that's a good question,
I know some people chose to stay out to sea, but if I A2P, well, if I see A2P on, like, I'm gonna just name a ship, the Peralta to E5, and then I do my 18 months or my pre-rec number. What is it, 18 months?
18 months, yeah.
So I do my
E5.
18 months, and then I do my RKE, and then I get command advance to position again as an E6, and then I obli-serve. Well, I'm obli-serving 36 months. That's a 36-month obli-serve. All right, yeah, okay, all right, I get it now. That's a 36-month obli-serve, just servicing in my career. My PRD, that's not my PRD. No, well, your PRD is changing.
It's going to change. It's going to change, right? But when you kept saying the CA2P and the A2P, that's the only way we can advance now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a CA2P or a A2P. Yeah, in those rates anyway. So it's going to be one of those. That's the only way you can advance.
So I would want an A2P to E6. I would want to get off that fucking ship at least.
Like after long.
After, that's 5 years, bro. Like 30 months and 18 months. That's already like, that's like 5 years, bro. Ain't it? 30 months and 18, 12, 20. Yeah, that's already like 5 years. You ain't trying to be on the ship. I don't know. I guess, and I could be stupid. I could be misreading something. So that's something I'm trying to get an understanding of, like the seashore rotation and PRDs now that we talk about BBA. You got any other thing with, I'm going to go to marketplace in a sec, but you got any other thing that you think about when it comes to BBA?
No, nothing else to add to BBA, but I will say this, and I'm going to stress this when I get back. Like, everybody, get into this stuff. Learn it, how it works, because it can be an advantage for you if you're really looking into it and how you can advance in things. There's some advantages to it. But also, like Damo said, I think it's some more information that we kind of need. And I think we probably got that information out there. I just haven't had I haven't been at the command. I haven't been nowhere to get more information yet on how that works, especially the sea shore rotation deal that's going on. I think that's some more information that we need. Yeah. But it is some opportunities for this though. Like I think people are going to not like, because I didn't like how they was doing the DC, but it was only because it was just DC and ABE. You know what I mean? I'm like, nobody advances, but the whole Navy is going to this. They've been saying that stuff since day one, that the whole Navy is going to this BBA thing. So it's happening.
Yeah.
So we just got to get on board with it. But it is some advantages to this, I think.
And there's a BBA handbook out there. And the word I got is that command career counselors need to read that, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in this episode. So if you want to read and some of y'all, I hope y'all be looking at these links. We be having some good links sometime. But if you want to read the BBA handbook, I'm going to just throw the link in the episode so you can check it out, because that's definitely worth looking at. And it's pictures and colors. It's definitely made for selling.
Yeah.
Let's go to marketplace, right? So we've talked about this. We asked about it before with guests. We had fucking coffee table conversations, locker room conversations, all types of conversations about this topic. And we knew this was coming. E6 to chief, fiscal year 26 CPO board. So that's pretty much this year. So E6 to chief now is in senior enlisted marketplace, right? So we started with the master chiefs, and we went to the senior chiefs. Now we on E6, right? So all the exam stuff is the same. It's looking like it's going to be a normal 6-week CPO season, right? And that's what I'm going to call it for the sake of my own language. I'm going to call it a season, CPO season. If eligible, screen sellers may remain eligible for SDIP, right? So if you eligible for SDIP, you may remain eligible. Exceptions are like as they've been command senior enlisted program, subs, nukes, musicians, and that's for the E7 only, right? The musicians. SEAL, special boat operator, TAR, and CELRES, right? If you screen, you can apply for potential jobs regardless of your PRD, accounting code, or order status, right? 24 months to be selected, or you got to be rescreened. So similar to the, same thing with the BBA. Rack and stack, 36-month obli-serve, and complete billet requirements for orders, right? Only thing is the merit screen, right? So merit screen is something that has already existed when it came to E8 and E9. And that's still there, right? There's no merit screening for E6 to chief, right? Because you're making chief and you get your billet, whatever like that. So there's no merit screen for that. Selected for SIM, you complete 12 months on board your current activity. Am I off there?
Nope, it says 12 months. Yep.
Yeah, so you complete 12 months. So if you get selected, you got to complete 12 months on board your current activity.
And it's the same thing. That's the same thing too. They did that in the CM before with the Massachusetts. Right? Yeah.
If you get OPHOLD or ORD mod, right? And just for some sellers that don't know, OPHOLD, that's sea duty terminology. ORD mod is shore duty terminology. Same shit, just different terminology depending on where you are, right? Frocking and advancement dates will be delayed if you get OPHOLD or ORD mod. And I think we asked that question at one point, right, on a pod a couple weeks ago, right? So that is answered. And I want to say they heard the pod, bro.
Yeah.
I want to say y'all heard the pod. Yo, God, give us a little bit of credit. E8, E9 requirement changed. And that's the waiting 30 days before execution of orders. And that's changed now to whenever obli-serve is achieved, you get your orders for advancement, right?
That's a pod thing too, man. We brought that up. We brought that to the light. What you doing? We brought that up.
So that's people would prefer that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people would prefer that. The co-location couple thing was where things might have got confusing for me. So
I do not. That's big time right there.
I'm gonna go off my notes and then you tell me what you read. And that's what somebody hit me up about this. Shout out to him. He listened to the pod, but and he was like, "Yeah, it's only." But we were taking Amari to urgent care that day. She had strep throat, but he was like, "Yo, I just don't understand what the fuck is going on right there." Right? And I hadn't even read it yet, so I'm like, "Well, shit." Let me, I just came from urgent care. When I read it, so this is what I read, Joe. And like I said, where the fact sheet at? I know it's a lot going on here. Where that fact sheet? We needed a fact sheet for this. We need fact sheet. We need a translator. We need, But so it says the first seller selected becomes the lead seller in the selection process. All right, easy day, right? The spouse's PRD now adjusts to meet the lead seller's transfer month. I get that, right? I understand what that means too. This gives the spouse an opportunity to continue to apply for advancement in a new duty station location. If not selected, right, they'll put in for a job in the current pay grade, but then they still continue to apply for advancement when they get to the new job. That's how I read that.
I read it like that, but let me say this, man. When I read that, man, I put wow behind my notes, man. And the only reason why I put wow is because now, yes, you can get selected in the current pay grade, but now on top of that, it's saying you can be eligible, but at the same time, you got to do 12 months, right? When you get to a new command, you got to do 12 months before you can move, right? So now that's a year right there. You didn't wait it longer automatically.
You think they should just clear that up? Because I don't read that.
Yeah.
Like I read you get the job and then you just keep on applying for advancement.
Yes, I read it like that. But previously, if you look up there and read, it says about 12 months. So I think that do need to be cleared up. You know what I mean? Because if you go to another command, it says on several fronts from SIM to BBA, it says about the 12-month thing, the minimum of 12 months.
Yeah, because it ain't like you about to go, because it's another part about short tours, right? But I ain't even write that down because and you could probably talk about it if you want, but because it's another part about short tours, right?
Short tours,
like,
yeah.
So it's like, and that might matter in this conversation because like you said, because I'm not about to go to a command for 2 months, bro. It'd be like, and then let's say, because the order's still got to be in that general location. Yeah. Like the order's got to be, that is where it could get kind of nasty at.
Yeah, confusing. Yeah.
Depending on what the short tour shit say.
If you need to leave, bro. That can be starting some freaking some hostility in the household.
Like, yo, you the reason.
Sorry, babe.
You the reason I'm still at E5, yo. It's because of you, dog. You want to come out here to Seal Beach. You wanted to come out here to Seal Beach. You know what I'm saying?
The rates matter then, though. Man, your rate matters. Man, that's wild right there.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out. Yeah. It's funny. I had to tell one of my mid comment. I had to tell one of my chiefs the other day. So something happened at my command, and I had made like a decision, and I went to them after, which I shouldn't have. I probably should have went to them first. But it was like kind of like everything was kind of like happening. So I went to them, and I'm like, "Hey, this is what we gonna do." And they like, man, we don't like that. That don't sound good. We don't like that. But then they like, hey, but you got 51%. So we just go, we gonna do it. Like, they gonna say, it's like, you got 51%. Boo, boo, boo. So we gonna do it, right? So then I leave. I have a conversation with my skipper, and I text the group. And when I text the group, I'm like, hey, no, we ain't gotta do that, right? So then they was like, they okay, all right, cool. Then I text them. I said, all percentages matter. You know what I mean? All percentages matter. Don't play with me, man. They had some good points. They had some good points. Yeah. I'm not above, recanting and we human. I'm not above telling them that they right.
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's that when it comes to that. Hey, I don't know, y'all. I think we need some more with the collocation, some more explanation with a couple just small things about collocation. What I really think should happen is in these kind of matters, go to a room, turn some cameras on, get some microphones, find 3 co-located couples, 3 couples, one with maybe kids that been in the game for a little bit, co-located, one brand new, and one probably middling, and just have a transparent conversation with them where you could figure out what their concerns are. It's the same like with the EFM shit, where you could figure out what their concerns are and they could hear you out so we could get a better understanding of this real world.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Dumbo, and I also agree with the detailers too. Detailers deal with this stuff a lot with the co-location. So I'm assuming they got some insights on different families and different things that's been happening over the years. And I'm assuming that's kind of where some of this information came from that they are putting in here because details got to have firsthand, information. But like you said, I think it's just too many though. Details have too many different situations going on. You're right. You get those couples in there that's going through it. on a day-to-day and it's been going on for years and years. You got different details getting there, then shit changes and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. We need to get that information out because we can't, and I don't think we did this either though. We can't be like making these decisions behind a desk. You know what I mean? It ain't part of that whole, lifestyle. So I'm assuming, and I don't like assuming things either though, but I'm assuming we didn't make this by sitting behind the desk. I'm assuming we asked the right people, asked the right questions.
Why don't we document and publicize those conversations though, bro? If I could do anything, right? If I had the ability, I would, like, before that Navadmin, like the Navadmin would come out, but then the tabletop conversations about that Navadmin would come out where people could hear the considerations, the thoughts, it could be like a real world conversation based off this Navadmin. I think I would do that. Or even after you release a Navadmin like this one, go do some roundtables in a couple places and ask, because it says that all of this shit is going to be looked at in a year. Some with the SSC, this scoring, the SSC will be looked at in a year for annual review and stuff like that. I think like all of these Navadmins should be like, all right, it's the big ones, not like the announcements and all that shit, but the big ones like this. Hey, boom, let's announce this. Here go your fact sheet, and then here's our deliberation or something like that. People will watch them. You tabletop it though.
Yeah,
you tabletop it. Don't do no boring courtroom type thing. Just tabletop, have these conversations. I think that'd be cool as hell. Because I don't want to press the force button a million times. Like, hey, and if anybody listening over there, I don't want to like, hey, Force, can you come on a pod? Let's talk about this. Force, can you come on a pod? Let's talk. Because hey, Bill, I wanted to call you, bro. I really wanted to call somebody from over there and just have a conversation. Because a lot of this shit it's not that, I'm not even talking about whether people like it or not. I'm just talking about the translation of it, right? A lot of this shit, and like these Navadmins could only be but so perfectly written, right? There's going to be something in here that somebody got a question about that we might not have put in there, right? So for instance, I got an instruction at my command. It's like a barracks instruction where I said like, hey, a chief is in charge of this responsibility, right? The reason why I didn't say the chief performs the task is because I wanted the gray area of the chief being able to delegate, right? So I said the chief is in charge of the task being performed. So if I'm going to talk to somebody now and I'm going to go talk to a chief, but I don't care how you get it done. I just care that you could speak for it. So the instruction is written with a little bit of gray. And I think sometimes the Navadmins might not be written as we thought. Like, yes, they try to cover as much, 95% coverage. But I think that 5% we might not have thought about, right?
Yeah.
To say, not like we thought about it, yeah, but to speak it to somebody, right? So that's kind of like my thoughts. And I'm a little passionate about it.
Your thoughts are spot on, but I also want to add what else it does if they had this table talk and they had the mics, they had all this. I think what that also does is let the Navy and let any military know that these conversations are being had.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't really know. We know all these Navadmin comes out, but the only thing I do tabletops on is like scheduling. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? PB for T or something. We all sitting around trying to make this happen or whatever. But do these table talks actually happen? I'm going to say yes. Yeah, but do I really know?
We don't know.
I don't have a clue.
Well, we think they do.
Yeah, we think they do. Yeah. But we'll clear all that up, right? We'll clear all that up. It's good to go. But yeah, man, I think that's a great idea, man. Then on top of all that, you'll give me a whole lot to talk about. So I wish y'all did do that.
Yeah. And especially amongst young sellers. Because I'm also at a point where I know the conversations happen amongst detailers and amongst senior enlisted sellers and officer corps and stuff like that. And I think we look at numbers, and I know we do all that shit, right? But amongst young sellers, what the feedback is. And like you said, it probably is, but we just don't know. Yeah. We just don't got. So so that's my thoughts with that. Like, let's do some table discussions sometime when it comes to these like frequently asked questions, right? Like how we come up with those. Like how do we come up with them? You know what I mean? Like, let's actually get somewhere where people ask questions and and like we saying, no smoke, because we know that we believe that these conversations are happening, but let's see it every now and then. Especially for nav admins. I feel like I'm doing too much trying to clean this shit up. Hey, take it how you want to take it, though. You got to do that. Hey, take it how you want to take it, man. Hey, let's go to EFM, exceptional family member, right? Exceptional family member. It says apply for orders for advancement. It says consider your family care needs when applying, right? You better consider your family care as if you weren't. You know what I mean? But some people probably don't. EFM sellers orders will be received by PERS 456 to make sure care is available. If care is not available, you wait and reapply next My Navy assignment cycle, right? With the normal orders negotiation window, may be selected for orders in current pay grade if it suits your EFM need. So if you're leaving within your normal orders negotiation window, you may be selected for orders in your current pay grade if it suits your EFM needs, and then just continue to apply for orders in the next pay grade, right? So again, that's that same conversation with the 12-month orders. That's the same conversation as the collocation, right? So we might have to look at that short tour thing because I don't got that in my notes.
Hey, I want to say something about that though. Hey, what we are not going to do with this is I'm saying this straight up. This is what I don't want to happen. Like, we don't have a lot of people pulling in for these billets. I don't want no one to see it as an EFM and say, oh, we don't want to take that chance on this sale. We don't want them to advance because we don't want to take the chance, right? So that's not what we're going to do. And I'm saying that because, right, you're going to have 50 people apply for this billet. You're going to know if they have an EFM. And you know with EFM, it's possibly that something can happen, right? It's possibly that we can lose this sailor. So what I don't want to happen is they to be judged off of that. And because sometimes commands select these bills. Command rack and stack. Commands do.
Yeah.
That's part of my Navy assignments. Commands rack and stack them.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that. So I just want everybody to know that's not what we are doing. I'm hoping commands are not doing that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say something about that and clear that up, man, because all those numbers are going to be there together. Everybody who put in for those billets, and then once they get selected. Don't be hitting that sailor up with no shit like, hey, you put in for this billet. Suck it up, fix it, or what? No, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to, touch that a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. And just some more stuff. So again, it's more to this nav admin, y'all. The short tour stuff that I think is important. We might need to pull that up right now, Damon. Assignments for less than 12 months. So advancement eligible sellers on a tour less than 12 months may apply for a job in their current or next higher pay grade. If they're not selected for an advancement opportunity, they may be selected for an in-pay grade job. If the seller is unable to fill the billet within 3 months of the order's report date, orders will be canceled and the rating detailer will evaluate the circumstance. Advancement eligible sellers may continue to apply for advancement. I don't know. That's even more confusing to me. Because that seems like I'm down that same 12-month rabbit. That seems like if I'm a spouse co-located, that seems like I'm down that same 12-month rabbit hole. Like, I don't know though. Yeah. Like again, I could be reading that one wrong. So it is a small part of this, I guess, where it's I don't know. Maybe it's just me that's confused and Damon. We both seem confused.
Yeah, confused.
It says some more stuff, including so some legal hold stuff. There is some exceptions to policy there about how to do that. What happens if you're on legal hold, and then also some annual review stuff for SSC. That's pretty much that nav admin in a nutshell. If it's a lot of stuff I like on about BBA, bro. It's a lot I like about BBA.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. Like I said before, man, there's some advantages in that thing, man. So I just need everybody, man, to know crap. Hey, realize that this is happening and educate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Educate yourself, man. Because this is going to be about you more than anything. You're going to have commands that's going to be there. They're going to talk to you. They're going to educate you much as possible. But hey, this is looking like to me, it's gonna be more about you and what you want to do and your preferences and how you want to attack things. Because you got A2P, which is outside of where you at, and then you got CA2P is there, right? So it's a lot of things that you're gonna have to make decisions on. So educate yourself on this stuff to make sure you understand how it works.
Yeah,
because that 24. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you.
Because that 24-month thing means something. The 18 months means something. Those numbers mean something. Educate yourself on what you can do And when I say advantages, man, like you said a little bit about it today, you could be at that same command and you get your 24, then you can wait a little bit, then you take the exam in 18 months. I mean, you right there for all that stuff. Like, crowd can maybe in 6 years, 7 years and be first class. You know what I mean? Maybe at the same command, but I don't know if I want to do that, but it's very possible.
Yeah, and then for like my PERS people, my detailers, my career counselors, my master chiefs that's in the mix. Hey, I did the best I could do at reading and trying to understand this. If I said something completely stupid, hit me up. Educate me. So I can know what the hell I'm talking about, because we are turning these mics on and having these conversations. So I think that I think we did a good job reading through this and kind of analyzing and stuff. But if it's something we screwed up on, let us know so we could get that information.
And trust me, a lot of that stuff is rolling through my brain. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff going on up there. So I could be wrong on a lot of things, man, but most definitely educate me. And I'm also trying to make sailors better every day. So the more knowledge I know about it, the better I can help sailors out, man. So most definitely, if I said something out of pocket, most definitely hit me up and let me know.